Hi everyone, I want to do a video tutorial today for you on how I put together my little covered notebooks. I've got a blog post where I've shown you quite a few of these little notebooks that I have just gone ahead and covered with some designer series paper that has been in the Stampin Up catalogue this last year, and I've just sort of used scraps of cardstock embellishments like little butterflies, frames and ribbon to cover or add embellishments to these little notebooks. Now, a few of you have asked me exactly how I do it and if there's a tutorial available, and I thought I'd do this video sort of to show you how I do it. Each one is slightly different. I'm not going to show you exactly how to do the embellishments because that's kind of up to you. I wanted to just roughly show you how I work out how to go about covering a notebook. So I'll just take one and put the rest of these aside. And basically you can see that there's designer series paper front and back. I haven't done anything to the inside, and basically it's just attached to a little notebook. Now, I don't have any formula or rules when getting my notebooks. I just find ones that are on special and cheap, and when they are, I grab them and stick them in my stash. This one here is like 5 plain packs, plain pads for $1. I think I've got some before for 8 for $2, so it depends on what you can get. You can also sometimes get lined booklets, but you just look for little tiny notepads, and that's generally what I use. And because each one is slightly different, the measurements for the notebook will, for the designer series paper, will depend on the notebook that you've got. So for example, when I get my notebook, this is what it looks like when there's just one of them. I get a ruler, which I hope I can get here. I measure how wide my notebook is from one side to the other. So for this little notebook I've got here, it's 2 7/8 inches wide, and then I measure the length of my notebook, and this one's 4 7/8 of an inch long. So my measurements for how big to cut my designer series paper, it's going to be 2 7/8 inches wide. It's going to be 4 7/8 inches plus an 1/8 of an inch for the binding here, and then about 1/2 an inch for the back, to wrap over on the back side here to stick down. So all in all, that's 5.5 inches long by 2 7/8 inches wide rather. Then it's scored at 4 7/8 and then at 5 inches just to wrap over around my notebook. But each one of those that you get will be totally dependent on your the size of your notebook. Your width is easy going to be just measuring, and all it is to determine how long to cut it is to work out how long the front is, add the depth of the notebook, and add enough to cover the notebook at the back. So this is my piece that I'm going to show you how to do. So I've just cut 2 7/8 inches by 5.5, and I've already gone ahead and put my score lines and folded along those score lines. A bit of double-sided tape on the back panel. I just line the cover then of my notebook up on the front like so, and then I just fold it down at the top and push it down so that it goes over the back. Now mine's not quite 1/2 an inch, I cut it a little bit short today, but you would probably have more along the back there. And then that's all you do to cover your notebooks, really quite easy. And then you just find any spare embellishments that you have in your cardstock piles. And if you're like me, I will often cut out embellishments to use on a project and then decide that, oh no, that wasn't quite right, and rather than throw it away, I just stick it in a folder that's got all of my scrap cardstock together, and then when it comes to little projects like this, I pull them out and they get a second chance to actually feature on a project. So for this one, I've just got a bit of lace ribbon border that I've punched out for another project that I didn't end up using. I've threaded some seam binding ribbon, vanilla seam binding ribbon through the lace border punch, and then I'm just gonna, and I've cut the border so that it is the right length for my notebook, and I'm just gonna wrap the ribbon to the front and to the back like that. And then for the ones that are on my blog, I made a whole heap for Mother's Day. So they say either grandma, mum, aunt. And then I've had a few requests from ladies to do some Nan ones and some Oma and all different bits and pieces. Now, I don't always have those stamps in our collection. So for this one, for Nan, for example, I've just gone ahead and printed Nan out on my computer, punched it out with a 1 1/4 inch circle and added a bit of scrap Calypso coral from the triple layer blossom punch around the border to finish that one off. So that's a custom order for someone that wanted one just for Nan. So I hope you enjoy making little modified notebooks, guys. They are really easy to do. Your dimensions will depend on the notebooks that you get. Great way to use up all that designer series paper that you've got stored. All right, have fun with those. Bye.